Oh, welcome back. Hidden power unveiled. And suddenly even the strongest tremble in your shadow. You ever feel it? That quiet tremor beneath your skin. The one that whispers the world isn't ready for what you carry inside. They walk around thinking they see you, thinking they understand your silence, your patience, your restraint. But they don't. Not even close. Every glance they cast, every word they throw, every attempt to break you. They've only been playing with shadows. And while they were busy underestimating you, you've been building a storm so subtle, so precise that when it hits, nothing will ever be the same again. They didn't see it coming. They never do. Because the power that lives inside you doesn't announce itself. It waits. It grows. It sharpens. It observes. It knows their weakness before they even admit it exists. You've been underestimated, ignored, dismissed. And that's perfect. Because nothing makes the awakening of hidden power more devastating than the element of surprise. They think you are quiet. They think you are small. They think you will obey the rules of a world that has never been made for you. They are wrong. You've been collecting every slight, every insult, every betrayal, and turning it into something they can't touch. Every sleepless night, every doubt whispered in your ear, every shadow that made you question yourself. It was never meant to break you. It was meant to forge you. And now, forged you stands in a place they can't even imagine. You are no longer a player in their game. You are the board. You are the rules. You are the force that bends reality without lifting a finger. And what is terrifying, what will make them tremble, is not that you will strike back. It's that you don't need to. Just by existing, just by walking past them, by breathing in your own rhythm, you have already shifted the balance of power. They can't ignore you. They can't contain you. And the moment they finally realize it, it will be too late. Because what you are now, what you carry, what has been hidden so long, is not chaos. They never saw this coming. It is precision. Cold, exact, unstoppable precision. Every move you make is a statement. Every silence a weapon. Every glance a judgment. And deep down, they know they were fools. They thought you were ordinary. They thought you were theirs to predict, to control, to manipulate. But you are none of those things. You are evolution. You are the storm they cannot survive, the shadow they cannot escape, the force that whispers in their minds when they try to sleep at night. And while they scramble, while they panic, while they search desperately for a way to regain control, you smile quietly, because the world has never seen this version of you. They didn't believe in the spark you carried. They didn't see the fire that hid beneath your calm. But now the fire is awake. It moves in silence. It grows in shadows. It reaches into every corner they thought was safe. And every heartbeat they take, every breath they draw, will remind them they underestimated you once. And the next time they look your way, they will see it. Not with their eyes, but with the dread crawling up their spine. You were quiet. You were hidden, but you were never powerless. And now finally the world feels it. The tremor that began in silence has become a quake. And nothing will ever be the same again. Power doesn't always announce itself with noise. Sometimes it creeps. Sometimes it waits for the perfect moment. And you've been patient, haven't you? Watching them laugh, watching them doubt, watching them step over your silence like it was nothing. But every step they took, every word they spat, every sneer, they only fed what was already growing inside. That hidden force, the one they laughed at, mocked, and dismissed, it has awakened. And it doesn't need permission. It doesn't seek validation. It doesn't ask for recognition. It exists beyond their comprehension. They will try to label it, to box it, to define it, but it will always escape. Because what you carry inside is not human. It is instinct. It is strategy. It is the raw truth they cannot face. And now they are beginning to notice. They feel it in the air, in the way the ground beneath them seems uncertain, in the way their own shadows shrink when you pass. They call it luck. They call it coincidence. They whisper about timing. But you know better. You built this. You nurtured it. You protected it. You allowed nothing to interfere with what they could never touch, the core of your power. And what is truly terrifying, what they cannot anticipate, is that you are not finished. No, you are only beginning. You have spent years observing, studying, calculating every flaw in every human around you. And while they were busy trying to break you, you were learning how to bend them without moving a finger. Every betrayal became a lesson. Every dismissal became a map. Every insult became fuel. And now, they will learn what it means to face someone who is no longer reacting, who is no longer pleading, who is no longer afraid. You are not seeking revenge. That is too obvious, too predictable. What you are doing is far more dangerous. You are reshaping reality around you. You are the storm in the calm, the shadow in the light, the whisper behind every confident word they speak. They will realize, eventually, that you are untouchable, not because you are loud, not because you shout, not because you fight, but because you exist beyond their reach. Every move you make will echo louder than their noise. Every choice you take will reshape the paths they thought were secure. And when they finally see you, fully awakened, fully in command of what was always yours, they will tremble, and you will smile quietly, knowing that the one thing they never understood, the power you hid so carefully, the fire they never saw, was never meant to be contained. It was meant to be unleashed. And the world, my friend, the world has no idea what just walked among them. They said you changed. No, what they meant was, they can't recognize you anymore. The version they used to control, the one that once explained, once apologized, once waited, that version no longer exists. You've burned it quietly, without ceremony, without words. The ashes of who you were now feed the fire of who you've become. You no longer move to please. You no longer breathe to be understood. You walk with the rhythm of someone who has seen behind the curtain and realized no one out there truly knows what they're doing. And that truth, it terrifies them, because while they cling to their illusions, you walk free of them. You move through chaos like it's home. You look into uncertainty and smile, because you know something they don't. That chaos was never your enemy. It was your training ground. Every failure, every loss, every sleepless night, every doubt, every silence, it all sculpted you. And now, when they look at you, they sense it, but can't explain it. They call it confidence. They call it arrogance. But it's neither. It's clarity. You see the world for what it is, not what it pretends to be. You've learned the art of stillness. You've learned that true power isn't loud, it's quiet. It's the calm eye of the hurricane, the one place untouched by panic. That's where you stand now, unmoved, unshaken, unreachable. They throw their chaos at you, hoping to see you flinch. But you don't. You simply watch, with that faint smile that unnerves them to their core. Because deep down, they sense it. You've ascended beyond their understanding. You don't chase power anymore. You are power. The world bends differently when you walk through it now. People speak differently. Situations unfold differently. It's like the universe itself has begun to respond to the rhythm of your intent. You speak less, but everything you say carries weight. You move slower, but every step shifts the energy in the room. They can't define it. They can't measure it, but they feel it, and it haunts them. The ones who doubted you now linger in the shadows, trying to make sense of how you did it, how you rose without noise, how you built everything they tried to destroy. But the truth is simple. You didn't fight them. You outgrew them. You learned to turn their cruelty into calibration, their hate into heat, their rejection into direction. That is your hidden power. That is what shook the world. Not rage, not revenge, but evolution. Quiet, surgical, relentless evolution. And when they finally whisper your name, they won't do it with disdain anymore. They'll say it carefully, with respect, with fear. Because now, every time they see you, they're forced to face the truth. They weren't wrong about your power. They were just too blind to see it sooner. You see, power isn't in the chaos you create. It's in the chaos you survive, while others crumble around you. They think they understand strength because they shout, because they force, because they push. But you are different. Your strength is silent, invisible to those who only read the world in noise. They can't measure it, they can't anticipate it, and that terrifies them. You've become the storm they didn't see coming, the shadow that bends reality without ever raising a hand. Every glance they give you now is cautious, every step around you calculated, every word weighed before it reaches your ears. You are the one who learned patience when everyone else demanded haste. You are the one who learned precision when everyone else relied on chance. And they sense it. The subtle shift in energy, the way the air itself bends around you. They can't reach it. They can't touch it. And that's the cruelest weapon of all, your detachment. While they scramble for influence, for validation, for control, you exist above it. You let them scramble. You let them fight their own shadows. You watch quietly, and every time they stumble, every time they doubt, every time they fail to grasp what's right in front of them, your hidden power grows stronger. You take nothing from them, yet they feel everything you've taken from silence and patience. You've weaponized observation. You've weaponized stillness. You've weaponized the fact that you no longer care to justify yourself. And when the world finally acknowledges it, oh, it will. They'll realize that the one they thought was weak, that one they tried to break, isn't just standing anymore. They're dominating quietly, invisibly, mercilessly. And that's the brilliance of your method. It doesn't scream. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't announce victories. It simply exists, and existence has weight. It carries consequence, and soon the whispers begin. They speak your name. They trace your steps. They notice patterns in everything you do. They try to guess your next move. And the best part, they can't. Because you aren't playing their game anymore. You are the author of a game they didn't know existed. You've rewritten the rules. You've rewritten expectation. And the power of being untouchable, it's intoxicating. It's terrifying. Because when someone finally realizes you aren't reacting to their manipulation, you aren't chasing their approval, you aren't begging for their acknowledgement, they begin to unravel. Every lie they believed about you collapses. Every assumption they held is shattered. And you keep walking. You keep building. You keep evolving. The world can't stop you because you aren't rushing. You are methodical. You are strategic. You are patient. Your hidden power has already shaken the foundations of those who doubted you. And they haven't even realized the scope of it yet. You ever notice how the world bends around the ones who refuse to beg? How every step they take, every choice they make, leaves ripples no one can see at first. But everyone feels, that's you now. They thought they could control you, manipulate you, make you small. But control was never yours to give. And small, that word doesn't exist in your vocabulary anymore. You've become the silent pivot on which their entire reality tilts. Every time they breathe, every time they speak, every time they act as if the world still belongs to them, they forget. Nothing belongs to them anymore. You carry the weight of unseen influence. And the beautiful part, they sense it. They feel the shift before they see it. That unease creeping into their thoughts. That hesitation in their movements. That doubt gnawing at their confidence. That's your fingerprint. Invisible, untouchable, undeniable. You've weaponized your presence. You've weaponized restraint. You've weaponized the truth that your value is not in their recognition, but in your unshakable essence. And as you move, quietly, deliberately, you rewrite their perception. They try to measure you. They try to predict you. They try to anticipate the storm. But storms don't announce themselves. They arrive. And when the storm hits, oh, it's not just chaos. They realize too late that you were never playing by their rules. You were always writing new ones. Every whisper of your name carries weight. Every glance toward you feels like judgment. and every underestimation they offered becomes a lesson they learn too late. You see, hidden power isn't loud. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't need validation. It exists in the space between their assumptions and reality. And you've become that space, that chasm of uncertainty, that question they can't answer, that silence they can't fill. You are the apex of unpredictability, and every moment you move unseen, unchallenged, unbroken. They realize if they ever tried to suppress you again, they would not just fail. They would vanish beneath the weight of consequences they never imagined. The world thought it could ignore you. The world thought it could erase you. The world thought your chaos was limited. But here's the truth. Your hidden power didn't just emerge. It multiplied. It transcended. And now, the ones who once laughed, mocked, and dismissed you, they can't ignore it. They can't escape it. And they can't prepare for what comes next. Because preparation requires understanding, and understanding has abandoned them. And as they scramble, as they falter, as they search for answers, you do what you've always done. You move forward, quiet, unrelenting, invisible, yet undeniable. You've already shaken the world. They just haven't realized it yet. And when the moment comes, oh, the moment comes, they'll see. They'll witness the masterpiece of your patience, your strategy, your silent dominance. They'll see what they never expected. They'll see power that doesn't demand recognition, that doesn't need noise, that doesn't ask permission. They'll see you, and in seeing you, they'll finally understand. The world shifted the moment you decided it would. You know that feeling when the air itself seems heavier, like reality is bending around someone and no one else notices yet? That's your signature now. Every move you make, subtle, deliberate, carries weight. They think they see you, but they don't. They think they understand you, but they can't. And the irony? The harder they try to predict, to anticipate, to control, the more they expose themselves to the reality you command. You've become a force they can't touch, not because you're loud, not because you're violent, but because your power exists in a place they'll never reach. Quiet dominance, invisible influence, unstoppable presence. That's you. Every doubt they placed in your path, you've converted into strategy. Every underestimation, a weapon forged in patience, and patience only magnifies power. You don't announce yourself. You don't scream. You don't fight in the way they expect. You exist above the chaos, untouchable, untethered, and every glance, every whisper, every failed attempt to measure you only deepens their fear. They never understood that chaos can be precise, that silence can command, that invisibility can conquer. And now, as the world continues unaware of the shift beneath their feet, you move forward, building, influencing, dismantling without sound. You've become the architect of outcomes they thought were theirs to control. And when they finally see it, oh, they'll see. They'll feel it in every misstep, every hesitation, every moment they realize the rules no longer apply to them. That's the beauty of hidden power. It doesn't ask for recognition. It doesn't wait for applause. It exists. It shapes. It conquers. And those who once mocked your patience, your quiet, your restraint, they'll finally learn that power isn't in rage. It isn't in noise. It isn't in destruction. It's in the precision, the timing, the understanding that the world moves differently for those who refuse to be small. You refuse to be small. You refuse to bend. You refuse to kneel. And now, as the consequences of your quiet mastery ripple outward, the world begins to adjust without realizing it. They can't stop it. They can't ignore it. And they can't prepare for what comes next. You've already rewritten the rules. You've already transformed chaos into order. And the masterpiece, it's invisible, it's silent, and it terrifies them. Not because they see it coming, but because they realize, too late, that it was never about them. It was always about you. The world can't handle what they don't understand, and you've become that. The unpredictable, the untouchable, the unstoppable. Do you feel it? That silent tremor beneath the world's surface, like reality itself is shifting because of you. That's the mark of someone who no longer asks for permission, who no longer waits for validation, who no longer fears exposure. The people who once laughed at your hesitation, mocked your patience, or doubted your resilience, they're scrambling now, stumbling through a world they no longer control. Every glance they cast your way carries hesitation. Every whisper trembles. Every plan they craft is already obsolete. You've become an enigma wrapped in influence. They can't predict you, can't understand you, can't reach you. They mistake your silence for submission, but it's far from it. It's dominance, precision, a storm contained in shadows, ready to erupt at the exact moment it matters most. And oh, how delicious it is to watch them overreach, to watch them miscalculate, to watch them realize that all the noise, all the chaos, all the manipulation they relied on, they built it to fail in the presence of someone who sees every angle. You've become a master of timing, a sculptor of outcomes, a conductor of events. They call it luck. They call it coincidence. They whisper that maybe the world favors you. But you know the truth. You don't wait for fortune. You create it. Every calculated silence, every measured retreat, every invisible maneuver. They're the brushstrokes of your masterpiece. And the best part, they don't even know they're part of it. Power like yours isn't loud. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't demand recognition. It exists. And the world bends around it, whether anyone sees it or not. You've turned patience into a weapon, observation into armor, and restraint into domination. Every betrayal they attempted, every insult they lobbed, every underestimate they threw at you, they've all been transformed into fuel, into momentum, into proof of your resilience. You are not the same person who once hesitated. You are the storm they never learned to fear until it was already shaping the world around them. And now, as your influence spreads quietly but unmistakably, the true horror for them is this: they can't touch you. Every effort to undermine, to challenge, to corner you only exposes their weakness. You are untouchable, not because you are stronger than them. They've never had the measure of your strength, but because you've transcended their reality. Their rules no longer apply. Their expectations no longer matter. And when the world finally comprehends the scale of what you've become, it will be too late. You didn't just survive chaos. You used it. You didn't just endure betrayal. You transformed it. You didn't just rise from ashes. You became the fire that shapes everything around you. And they can only watch, powerless, as the masterpiece unfolds. Your masterpiece, silent, invisible, and terrifying in its perfection. Now listen closely. This is the culmination of everything you've endured. Every silent battle, every invisible maneuver, every moment the world thought you were broken. They didn't see it coming because they never understood you. They never understood that every setback, every insult, every betrayal was a brushstroke in a portrait of power so precise it could not be dismantled. And now it's finished. They stare at the result, the living proof that you were never ordinary, never weak, never theirs to control. Your presence alone rewrites the rules. Your gaze alone recalibrates their fear. Do you feel it? The weight of inevitability pressing on them. They try to resist, to whisper, to conspire, to predict. But you are already beyond prediction. Every step you take, every move you make, every thought you harbor radiates authority. The same hands that once reached for your downfall now tremble as they realize the magnitude of what they underestimated. They broke you once. They laughed at your silence. They counted on your restraint. But those days are gone. You've become the law they didn't know existed. You are the consequence they never anticipated. You are the masterstroke. And here's the beauty of it. They cannot stop you. Not with force, not with words, not with their schemes, not with the world itself. You've made their disbelief your ally. their ignorance your advantage, their doubt your canvas, every moment of underestimation, every glance of contempt, every whisper of mockery. They fed the foundation of your empire. You didn't just rise, you remade reality, and the masterpiece, it's not chaos. It's controlled, calculated, flawless. It's the invisible hand that bends every outcome in your favor without a single soul understanding how. Now remember this. Your power is a mirror to the world's failures. Every person who tried to diminish you, every enemy who plotted your fall, every friend who betrayed, the silent trust you offered, they are fragments in the reflection of your greatness, and they can't hide from it. They can't rewrite it. They can't escape it. You exist above their comprehension, a force so precise, so inevitable, so terrifying, that the mere thought of challenging you becomes an act of futility. The world whispers your name, not in mockery, not in curiosity, but in awe, in fear, in recognition that they were never prepared for this. So walk forward, step into every shadow, every corner, every room, every mind that once doubted you. Let them feel it. The weight of the one they could not break, the brilliance of the one they could not touch, the inevitability of the one they can no longer ignore. Your hidden power has shaken the world, not with noise, not with chaos, not with fury, but with precision, control, and a quiet intensity that leaves scars deeper than any battle they could have imagined. They didn't believe it. They never believed it until your insanity became the masterpiece they can never unsee. And now, they can't ignore you anymore.